Hey, welcome back to Life Skills. This week we're going to talk about resilience. And for me, that means stick to itness, not giving up, staying true to the course, and not getting distracted. You know, there's an old saying in recovery that says, crisis is not all bad, it leads to change. And I think so often in life, it's so easy to go to the victim mode where something bad happens, we just kind of give up, or we'll say, I was born in the wrong family, I haven't had the right education, and so we don't hang in there the way we need to hang in there, because the hard parts of life actually make us who we need to become and make us better. There's a verse in the Bible that says, count it all joy when you face trials and tribulations of various kinds, because they produce in us a perseverance, and that perseverance helps us become mature. And that's really about life. It's the hard things in life. It's working through those hard things in life that make us more mature, make us ready to take on something bigger and better than ever before. But if we're not faithful with that little trial, we'll never be able to handle the big one. And so resilience, what we're saying to all of our participants and our staff, is not to give up. When you come up against that closed door, look for a window, look for a way around it, look for a way to move forward and not just stay stuck. There was a great book years ago, a business book called Who Moved My Cheese? And it was kind of a funny little story about two mice. And they had this stash of cheese, and everything was great while they had this stash of cheese. But over time, that stash got smaller and smaller and smaller. And it became a crisis. What are we going to do? We don't have any more cheese. Where are we going to find cheese? We don't know where it's going to be. And so there was two mice, and one of the mice just said, I'm just going to stick here and then see what happens, and never did make any efforts to change or to improve. And so he ended up running out of cheese and dying. That's not a good story. But the other guy said, hey, I can't just stay here and wait. This is a crisis. I need to find more cheese. So he ventured out. Of course, he found more cheese. He found a better life than he had before, and things got better and better and better. So resilience is going for the better, better, and better, not giving up. So hang in there, guys. We're glad you're part of Rogue Retreat, and enjoy the rest of this program.
My name is Peter Buckley. I work with Southern Oregon Success. I'm going to talk a little bit here for a few minutes about resilience. You know, what makes up resilience? What is resilience? In one really kind of simple way to define resilience is it's the ability to positively adapt to adversity. So it's also been called the science of why. You know, why does one person face adversity and find a way to still have a great life, and another person find the exact same kind of adversity and still struggle? So the science of why. And it's called the science of hope, because the studies of resilience, which have gone on for decades, give us specific tools that actually help build resilience. They build that ability to positively adapt to adversity. So that's what we're going to go into for a few minutes today. So resilience scientists have talked about three core protective systems of resilience: individual capabilities, including the ability to self-regulate, which is fundamental, it's foundational to resilience. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. So individual capabilities is the first core protective system. Attachment and belonging is the second core protective system. And then community culture and spirituality. What is your community like? What is the spirituality and the culture of your community? That's the third core protective system. It's best if all these are kind of all taken together and they're all strengthened together. But let's take them one by one and kind of talk about how they fit. So individual capabilities. So the core of resilience really is self-regulation. Are you able to handle what happens to you? Do you have the tools? Do you have the confidence in your ability to be a good self-advocate? Do you have an understanding that what you say matters and what you do matters? And do you contribute? Because a really fascinating thing about the resilience studies, they show that people who make a significant contribution to their family or to their community, they are more resilient people. They understand what help is all about. You know, say that you're at your aunt's house and she drives up, she's got a whole carload of groceries, and you help her carry the groceries out of the car into the kitchen, and she says thanks, and you feel pretty good, right? That helping made you feel pretty good. So what the studies show is that people who contribute, people who know what help is about, they're more willing to ask for help when they run into difficulties. So that ability to contribute is part of the individual capabilities that all of us have to strengthen. But to go on for listen a bit about self-regulation. Self-regulation, in one definition here, the ability to manage disruptive emotions and to think before you react. And we're talking about all kinds of situations. We're talking about situations where you're confronted with something that you totally did not expect, and it increases your level of fear and anxiety. Can you manage those disruptive emotions and to think and make a choice on how you want to react rather than simply react to it? And a key thing about self-regulation is that over the past few decades, the very things that we have done to learn self-regulation over the years have been kind of taken away from us. You know, one of the primary ways that people learn how to self-regulate is through movement. And there's a study now from Exeter University that came out last year that shows that only 30% of our kids in America, only 30% are getting the 7 hours of physical activity a week that's recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics. Only 30%. In fact, it's gotten so bad that the American Academy of Pediatrics is actually recommending that their doctors prescribe outdoor play because movement helps us learn self-regulation. Playing together, not simply video games, but playing together helps children learn self-regulation skills. You know, Red Rover, let Molly come over. If your name's not Molly, you don't come over, right? That's learning self-regulation. And we've kind of taken those games out of our kids' lives. So for everybody to learn these skills, it's absolutely vital. And it's not, it is brain science, but it's not complicated. There are simple tools to self-regulation. And if we can be, the better we can become at regulating ourselves, the more we can help other people. But so the simple tools to master self-regulation include the use of time, breathing, right? Simple breathing exercises. Breathe in for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts. Breathe in for 5 counts, breathe out for 5 counts. Simple. That helps self-regulate, helps regulate our system. Walking is one of the best self-regulation tools that we have. If you take a walk when you're feeling anxious, several minutes into that walk, you might start feeling much less anxious. You're starting to regulate. And it's really kind of interesting thing about walking is that the average kind of normal pace of walking is about 60 steps a minute. And that's the same rhythm as the beat of our mom's heart when we're in the womb, about 60 beats a minute. So walking puts us back into this kind of really fundamental, natural rhythm. So I can't recommend walking enough. It's a key tool for self-regulation. And you hear a lot of talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness, you know, mindfulness exercises, they can be so simple because what mindfulness is, it's bringing your attention back to the present moment. So anything you do to bring your attention back to the present moment helps regulate. Your mind is not thinking about the past where something horrible happened or worrying about the future where something horrible might happen. You're in the present moment. That helps to regulate. And the exercise can be as simple as just observing what's around you. Just taking a few seconds to observe, there's my tea, there's a glass of water, and just thinking through the observation of what you're seeing or feeling in your body. And music can be a very good self-regulation tool as well. There's music that plays 60 beats a minute or around 60 beats a minute, and that music can help regulate. And then things with touch, like taking a sip of water or eating a healthy snack or scribbling helps some people self-regulate. So it doesn't have to be complicated, but the better we are at self-regulation, the better we can help other people. There's a neurobiologist named Bruce Perry who puts it this way: the only sequence of engagement that works is regulate, relate, and reason. That's the only sequence that works when we're working with each other. We both have to be regulated, we be able to relate with each other, and then we can reason with each other. So Dr. Alfred Adler, he put this out, I lost the slide there, but you notice I'm regulating, even though the slide got this. Dr. Alfred Adler, he put this in a kind of theory in his lifetime. What do all of us need? And what he came down to is all of us need to feel safe, to feel like we matter, and to feel that we belong. So to feel safe, to feel like we matter, to feel that we belong. And all the neurobiology now has caught up with that theory that Dr. Adler had so many decades ago. Because the neurobiology, the way our brain works, our nervous system works, it actually verifies that when we're safe and when we feel like we matter and we feel like we belong, that is when our brain is in the most regulated state in order to take in new information and to reason most effectively. So the second core protective system for resilience is attachment and belonging. And this is really cool that all the literature here shows over and over again that even one caring and competent adult in a kid's life can be a linchpin for resilience for that kid. Everybody, as they're growing up, needs at least one caring and competent adult who shows them what it's like to be a caring and competent adult, to have a healthy adult relationship. And that's what all of us can do. We can all be positive connections. And no matter what age you are, the more positive connections you have, the more resilient you are. Doesn't matter if you're 3 or 93, the more positive connections, the more resilience. So all the work that we do to make positive connections with the people that we're working with, it all matters. The science backs it up. And then the third core protective system is your community's culture and spirituality. What can your community do to help people gain resilience? What is your community capable of to help children and families? And right now, with the pandemic and with the wildfires, our community is stepping up in a lot of ways. But these are the most challenging times I've ever lived through. And people are coming together. They're doing incredible things. The Phoenix Talent School District is working so hard to connect with all the families who lost homes by fire in their school district. And they're just going out of their way to get that done. And they're keeping their community together. The community of talent wants to stay together. The community of Phoenix wants to stay together because they value that community. And that value of community helps build resilience for all of us. So some examples of building community resilience. Rogue Retreat is a prime example. All the work that Rogue Retreat does to help people get to a safe place, you're helping people build resilience. You're helping our community build resilience. The emergency child care providers that stepped up when the pandemic hit, having child care for families of essential workers, they are stepping up to help build resilience. All the K-12 school districts, I mentioned Phoenix Talent, but all of the K-12 school districts put a priority on food and connections first with their families. That's the right thing to do. United Way's done great work. The Healthcare Coalition of Southern Oregon did a massive diaper drive for families with infants that need diapers. We have our youth development work groups through Southern Oregon Success that in less than half an hour organized a way to get food and basic essentials to 83 families that are working with the LISTO program. And the Family Nurturing Center does incredible work in our community. They're partnering with the Rogue Hub, which is a collection of different organizations, like the YMCA is part of that, to really focus on what do families need and how we can get them the resources that they need. And they've served over 800 families during the pandemic, and they're serving even more families now after the wildfires. So resilience isn't mysterious. All the tools for resilience are right there in front of us, helping to build individual capabilities, particularly self-regulation, making connections, and building community. That's how we work on resilience. I think, Susan, the last time we had this conversation, we asked for what a couple of practical things that we could do as well. And one really practical thing you can do is make sure you set routines wherever you can, particularly for children. But if children understand what a routine is, then they know what they can expect. And having that knowledge of what to expect next helps them feel safe. It's a simple thing. Eating meals together, it helps build resilience, helps build those connections. And again, the better that we can master self-regulation, work on self-regulation ourselves, the better we'll be able to do to help build resilience in others.
So that was kind of a question that I had. What if you never had a chance to do this when you were a kid? What do you do as an adult?
I think you still need to consciously make that choice that you are going to build self-regulation skills for yourself, that you want to get to a place where you're not just reacting, you're choosing on how you want to react. You're basically taking back situations for you to make the choice rather than having things being done to you. And that, Susan, while you're bringing up that element of choice is so important. People that have been traumatized, that have experienced something like a wildfire, that choice has been taken away from them. They've been very, very much powerless in those situations. So bringing choice back into people's lives, people who have faced adversity, it's extremely important. no matter how small the choice you start off with. You can start off with small choices and then get larger and larger choices. But being able to make choice in your life and to have confidence in the choices that you make, that's part of building resilience as well.
Susan,
Yeah?
COVID related.
What you got?
Wait a minute. I need to back up. Back. There we go.
Am I good?
Okay, you're good.
Okay.
Okay.
What's up?
So I read online and I printed it out. It said micronutrients such as vitamin D, C, and zinc are critical for a well-functioning immune system and play a vital role in promoting health and nutritional.
Nutritional?
There you go. Thank you.
Oh.
Well-being. And
So what's your question?
well, my question is, will it prevent me from getting COVID if I take supplements?
What does it say there?
I don't know.
Let me see.
Well,
It says, there is currently no guidance on the use of micronutrient supplements as a treatment for COVID-19. I thought you had something
6
there.
feet.
I actually thought you had something there.
I thought I did too, and I
And I-
guess I should have continued reading.
But here's the thing. Don't
Yeah.
stop taking your vitamin D and your vitamin C and your zinc,
Okay.
because they do help build your immune system. So they're a good idea.
And I want to be healthy, right?
You do want to be healthy. Or you need to be healthy. Otherwise, who would do the work around here? It would have to be me.
Who does the work around
I'm already
here?
doing the
You.
work around here.
All right. Thank
Take
you.
your vitamin C. Take your zinc. Take
Ye-
your vitamin
Yes,
D.
ma'am. Micronutrients. Micronutrients.
Well, that wraps up another Life Skills Weekly video for you guys, and I hope that you really enjoyed it. I always think Peter Buckley does a great job of talking about adverse childhood experiences and how to build resilience both in children and adults. And the thing I really liked about it was walking, using that as a tool to build resilience and as a way to just give yourself some calm time and be able to attack the problem again once you get back. Not the person, but the problem. And so resilience really helps with all of life, really. Being able to bounce back, that bounce back ability, that's a great thing to know. So I wish you well, have a good week, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.